More than 200 doctors and nurses have died combating the coronavirus outbreak across the globe. There are so many sad pieces to all of this, but this might be the saddest piece of it. The saddest shit is that people argue, why should I not have ketchup with my eggs even for a single day? That they also have to care for their mental health. The fuck is wrong with you morons? The sacrifice is being made by people who are risking their lives in this time to provide you with essential services. They can't even just stay home, because otherwise the system would crumble. And then you go out and about to parks and whatnot, while on the way to buy fucking ketchup. I'm so irate about all of this. My problem isn't with people eating ketchup. If I go to buy some milk and the same shop sells ice cream too, I would buy both. The problem is if I go out just simply to buy freaking ice cream, then I would be a selfish bastard. Also, this linking of anything and everything with your mental health is getting boring real fast. If not having ketchup with eggs for a day or two affects your mental health, then you should be really happy that by staying home you are lowering the chances of a family member or neighbor dying, which should probably affect your mental health more. One would think that staying home and others staying home too, would be better for your mental health, as the lesser of two evils. It'll be interesting to see if this changes future generations' decisions to practice medicine. It's always been a role suited to people who want to help others, but isn't as associated with endangering yourself as police or fire. Major props to those that are sticking with it, even though this probably isn't quite what they were expecting. I doubt it. First of all, statistically speaking, the danger hasn't increased much. Secondly, infectious diseases and pandemics have always existed, so the idea this danger is new is not true. That's not to diminish their sacrifice at all or minimize those that have died in this pandemic, only speaking about the calculus for people choosing to enter medicine. I'm wondering what percentage of nurses are dying. Like one in other parts of the hospital compared to nurses on the unit with ALP compared to nurses on the unit without P. Anyone have any info on that? You would also need to see if PPE is being worn and removed properly. We are anal about this at our hospital, and I've seen lots of photos from Italy and various other places where masks are being worn or removed improperly. This is what aggravates me the most when you hear the virus being compared to the flu. I have never heard of so many medical professionals dying. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but man. This isn't normal, right? Sure, but we have vaccines for influenza. Hospital administrations really need to be held responsible for this. Specifically in the United States. They are too money hungry. Last week I saw a report from an Iranian medical association that 97 doctors, nurses and other medical workers have died of the virus in the country, so I really doubt that global number is accurate. Please keep in mind that just what's been reported. There are many countries underreporting on purpose and some because they don't have the resources. Why do these reports always only mention doctors and nurses? It takes a lot more people to run a hospital and most of them are being exposed to. Yeah, that number is way too low. There has to be way more than 200. Yeah. As I said in another comment, the Italian Medical Association made a full list of fallen medics, other countries did not, and the author of that article made a pretty sloppy job of collecting data. If there are already 130 plus dead medics and nurses in Italy, there is no way that Spain, where more / medical personnel was infected, going by memory some 12,000 opposed to Italy's 10,000, has only 1/10 of that number. Same story for the UK, USA, France, not to mention Iran or other poorer countries. This is just insane. We haven't been prepared and continue not to be. I mean, honestly, we were given one N95 mask to cover a week of use for MDs in our institution. Lucky for me. If you consider it lucky, I'm in a specialty that isn't on the front lines. However, I have medical school friends, now residents, who are fighting the good fight, risking their futures, families, and lives for pay that is less than a tech in the hospital, with no hazard pay. They've been called essential and guilted into excessive exposure. These people are vulnerable, with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, being called upon as independent physicians and instructed to battle the virus. Seems wrong, very wrong. We should arm our current and future practitioners with adequate protection, both physical and financial, to protect them and their families during this battle, Okay, rant over. Thanks for listening. This breaks my heart. Even though they took an oath to save lives, but that doesn't mean they had to risk theirs. PPE is a basic right for every doctor and they must be provided to them. Can we get some comparison with this? How many DRS and nurses die a year to other illnesses they contract on the job? There's no perspective in just saying 200 and acting like it's a big deal. I'd like to see numbers compared to the general population adjusted for the number of doctors. We expect 50 to 70% of the population to get it and 2% of them to die. Unless it's over that number, this is just emotional manipulation using statistics. One thing I have not seen talked about in the news: impact on medical professionals after the pandemic. There better be hazard pay. There won't be. The only time hazard pay should be supplied would be if we aren't being supplied with proper PPE. Our government has already said they will be moving with layoffs after the pandemic is over. Alberta.